Alrighty, my guys, gals, and non-binary pals. You may recognize this machine from a video that I posted either on the 15th or the 16th. I actually posted 3 about this, but surprisingly I got a request for a tutorial on how to build the useless block swapper, which looks like this. So in this video today, I will be giving you guys a tutorial on how to make the useless block swapper. I'm very surprised that that is something that interested people. If you did not notice, there is a sign right here that says Model 2. This is not the useless block swapper that I made on the 16th. This is actually slightly compacted. It's sort of not that big, so it's pretty decent, but this is model number 2. I have actually spent more than my fair share of time on this useless block swapper. The current model number is model number 7. The actual machine takes up a 4 by 3 by 5 area. These glass blocks represent that area. In case you did notice, this is very fast. But I will be making a tutorial for both of these. There is this unnecessary fire of this piston. Right now I'm thinking it might actually be slightly slower. Tutorial number 1 will be for model number 7, which I believe is 1 tick faster. And then tutorial number 2 will be for model number 6. The items that you are going to need for this machine are these things in my inventory right here, and in the number that I have right here. These blocks are just the parts that are going to be moving around. They don't need to be a loomer crafting table. They just need to be basically any sort of block that can be moved by piston. I'm going to do this in the way that makes sense to my brain. So there's this block here, and then if you go 1 block over, and then 2 blocks like that, that's how you get the right blocks here. So that gets rid of the 2 oak planks in your inventory. And then if you grab your crafting table and your loom, obviously, like I said, they don't need to be a crafting table and a loom. Those are just the 2 blocks that I selected for this. But you grab your crafting table and your loom and you put them there. And then your lever will go right here. So I'm going to take that out of my inventory. Now, the thing that the lever is going to activate that actually starts the entire circuit is going to be a note block. Because underneath it will be a couple pistons, so you can't exactly put a redstone dust or anything, and so a lot of things would not work here. It allows this piston to realize it's being bud powered instantly, basically. So this piston, because when this block is powered, this piston is going to be powered. So this note block is causing this piston to realize it is powered to do the activation. Because if there was no note block here, it wouldn't do anything. So the piston just needs to be notified, updated, that it is actually powered. We need to take an output out of this piston, and we're going to have another observer underneath here. Right, so the output is an observer, and then there's another observer right here with a redstone dust on top, and a wool block coming out of it, another redstone dust right next to it. Underneath this wool block, we need to have a sticky piston. When this note block gets powered, the observer is going to realize it's going to get powered, or also when it gets unpowered. And so it's going to cause a 1 tick pulse to go here, and a 1 tick pulse causes a piston to spit out or retract back in a block. So that block is going to be an observer. What that basically does is whenever this powers, whenever this goes on, it's going to move this observer over there till it's facing the piston, so it'll activate the piston with a 1 tick pulse. So it'll grab it or spit out the block. And then, when this gets unpowered, the observer will move back out from the piston, and it won't do anything to this piston because it's not going to power it. Like, there's nothing powering it. So basically, it looks like that. So at this point, you need to flick the lever 4 times in order to get it to the original position. The next logical step for me is just to place the observers here. So we have this wool block here. The model number 7 has the observer activating a regular piston, which is something I forgot to keep in the material count. The redstone lamp is actually replaced with a regular piston. We have this this observer, which is running into a regular piston, and that regular piston is going to be leaving an output to this observer here. And the reason that is so important is because when a piston fires, the observer gets 2 outputs from it. And this note block is going to be leading into another observer, which is powering this block, which is why we needed to place it for the model. We needed to place this block because it's actually going to get powered twice in this system. Which is kind of funny. Like, there's a block that's going to get powered twice. This observer comes out of this line, so it is basically causing another line to happen, similar to this one, but it leads from there and then over top of this other line, which, this shows just how compact it actually gets, and it leads directly into this piston down here. So this piston is basically what is in charge of pushing this block up there once we do the block swapping motion. But as you can see, we do not have these two pistons placed here, so basically we just need to place these pistons, and we need to do one more thing. This observer is going to go here. Now, right now, that's not facing into anything, so we're going to use our last wool block, and we've already used these sticky pistons, which means we have one thing left, which is a redstone repeater, and that redstone repeater is going to be set to 2 ticks. So I'm pretty sure that this is completely done, this redstone useless block swapper. So I'm going to test it, make sure I didn't build anything wrong. And I did not build anything wrong. It is completely done. This is perfect. 10 observers, 2 note blocks, and instead of this piston, we're going to have a nice little redstone lamp. All of the materials are the exact same in model number 6 in comparison to model number 7. You just need to have a regular piston for model number 7 and a redstone lamp for model number 6, and what changes is how we build it. As usual, we're going to start off with the same wooden blocks here. You make this structure, and you get rid of those blocks. So we start off with those same wooden blocks, and we get rid of the lever and the oak planks. And then, you place your crafting table, and you place your loom. Of course, they don't have to be a crafting table on a loom, like I mentioned earlier. And you place the note block. So far, all of this is the exact same. A lot of this is, actually the exact same. So I'm going to speed through it pretty quickly for the parts that you guys have already seen, and yeah, I guess we'll go from there. So you place these blocks, that's the exact same. You place this observer, you place these 2 blocks, and then on model number 6 it's slightly different because these observers lead into a wool, which is the same as that, but that wool leads into our second note block. Instead of a piston, it leads into a note block, and that is pretty much the first change, and one of the very few changes that are actually in this one compared to the other version of this thing. I am forgetting how to speak, but yeah, we place basically all of the same materials. We are basically done at this point. You place in all of the same materials. We have some things that are changed here are the redstone lamp instead of the note block, and instead of a piston here, we have a note block. And I'm pretty sure those are the only changes in the actual machine, in the actual building of the machine. And it's crazy how, those tiny changes can change the machine. I mean, it doesn't actually change it that much, like 1 tick. I think 7 is 1 tick faster. I could be wrong. Like I said, I'm gonna check. But yeah, the fact that these small changes can change, the rest of the entirety of the machine is pretty crazy. But yes, there's a machine. I'm gonna reiterate, the only changes that are changed, I've said changes way too much, but the only things that are changed are this redstone lamp instead of this note block, and this note block instead of this regular piston. Now, of course, there could be a sticky piston, but it would get in the way with things that you might have on the side, because it would, pull this. But yeah, other than that, they're the exact same, and I'm just going to do a time test right now to see which one is faster once and for all. So looking at them right now, just from my perspective, I'm starting to think that I did something stupid when building model number 7 and made it slower. Which is pretty crazy, but I will tell you in the edit how, if they are actually different, how different they are, which one's faster, which one's slower. I will tell you all of that, but for now, click the sub button if you're not subscribed, click it. It might be white, it might be black, it might be red, I don't know. Do not click it if it's gray, though, because you are subscribed, and that is perfect. And if you're colorblind, I'm sorry. But bye-bye. Keep in mind, this repeater is 2 ticks.